Hi, welcome back to the next video in the video response series to Atlassian's Agile Coach series on Scrum. In video number 5, they are covering sprint planning basics. Let's check it out.
Sprint planning is a ceremony that helps focus execution, minimize surprises, and guarantee overall higher quality code. The process usually takes about an hour per week of iteration, like 2 hours for a 2-week sprint.
So that may be how it's working at Atlassian as far as Scrum is concerned. The time box for sprint planning is 8 hours for a 1-month sprint. So depending on how long yours is, you might have a 2-week sprint length, and then you might aim for time boxing the sprint planning event to 4 hours. But often it can be achieved in much less time than that, depending on how the team is working and to what degree that they are preparing for the sprint.
And it should ideally be done early in the week so your team's flow isn't disrupted by the weekend.
And again, that might be how it's working at Atlassian. Thanks for sharing that. I would invite you to have a full conversation with the team to think about all the different constraints that might be useful to bear in mind when you select the not only the cadence, the sprint length, but also when the sprint has its sprint planning and therefore its start. There might be travel considerations for team members or stakeholders. There might be market conditions, release time, possibilities, whatever might be going on that are worth considering.
Now in this series, we'll dive deeper into one of the key ceremonies at the beginning of the sprint planning. During the sprint planning process, your product owner, Scrum Master, and development team will come together to discuss 2 key questions. What can we deliver during the upcoming sprint in order to achieve the sprint goal? And how will we deliver that work? These questions help everyone agree on a goal for the sprint, map out the next 2 weeks of work or whatever your sprint duration is, and set the team up for success.
Just a small clarification on this one. The sprint goal is commonly proposed by the product owner in line with product road mapping. And it would not be the first time that it would be discussed at sprint planning. The team would know about this beforehand through road mapping conversations, through product backlog refinement activity. And it is then only in sprint planning to ensure that everything is in place for us to still pursue the sprint goal. And then based on that, this is the why of the sprint, and should relate to some sort of outcome that might be realized in the product or in the service. And then the team works to pull items from the top of the product backlog into the sprint backlog to work out what they need to deliver in order to meet that sprint goal. And also important to cover in the sprint planning meeting is also your capacity as a team. This is also covered in one of my videos in the Power of 3 series to make sure that we are aware of any absences of the team that might impact our capacity, that we have a conversation about any other requirements on the team's focus and attention during that sprint, company events, for example, or even support and maintenance activities related to the product that the team is working on.
At Atlassian, we've developed a 3-step process that has worked really well for our team's sprint planning. Check out the next video to see.
Advanced notice, backlog grooming, we don't refer to it as that anymore. It's now called product backlog refinement, has been for some time. All right, so that seems to be it for the sprint planning meeting. Hopefully you find the additional clarification and comments that I shared here useful. If so, please recognize it with a like down below. If you'd like to get updated on future videos in the channel, subscribe, and for notifications, hit that bell button also. I appreciate any comments for feedback or requests for future videos. Please leave those down below. And until next time, I wish you all the best for the practice with your team. Thank you very much for today, and goodbye.